I got the kicked out of me. Most of the girls start crying because they are hurting so bad. I couldn't breathe. I was being hit and choked. I was really upset and they didn't stop. They kept filming. I asked them to turn the camera off and they kept going. These are the words of a former porn actor. During the American occupation of Iraq in the spring of 2004, the world was shocked to hear that US soldiers were raping prisoners at Abu Ghraib. Hundreds of leaked images depict Iraqi detainees being forced to crawl on the floor while wearing leashes, masturbating for the camera, touching other men's naked bodies, wearing underwear on their heads, and other degrading activities with which we are not familiar with. The public was shocked not only by the human rights violations but also by the soldiers' apparent joy in recording the violence. As they stood over their victims in several of the pictures, soldiers smiled and flashed a thumbs up to the camera. Several troops were dishonorably discharged from the service after an investigation, and others were sentenced to jail for their actions at Abu Ghraib. Thousands of women were videotaped and photographed by pornographers in the same year who were subjected to almost identical treatment and worse. Millions of porn fans saw such pictures after they were posted to the internet. There was no backlash from the general population. Comparing pornography to the events at Abu Ghraib is likely to ruffle certain people's feathers. Those are completely different, is a popular reaction. Women giving their permission in porn. Do they? A woman is handled in porn because she consented to it. What if she didn't? What if she really didn't want to be dominated, mocked, and sexually exploited in front of the world? The fact is that there's always a lot more going on behind the scenes than what you see on the monitor. That is maybe the greatest, deepest scandal of the porn industry. It is not all consensual. It's common to think of sex trafficking as a third world issue involved forced prostitution or child pornography, which rings in a far-off developed region. In fact, sex trafficking is a modern-day type of slavery in which a commercial sex act is coerced by force, deception, or bribery, or in which the person induced to commit such an act is under the age of 18 years. This includes any situation in which the person on screen was coerced, tricked, or stressed. Sex trafficking by that description can be found everywhere. The examples are gruesome. 2 Miami men were found guilty in 2011 of luring women into a sex trafficking trap for 5 years. They would advertise modeling jobs and drink, abduct, and harass women who came to try out. They would videotape the abuse and market it to pawn shops and companies around the world. In the same year, a couple in Missouri was charged with torturing a mentally disabled teenager by punching, whipping, suffocating, electrocuting, drowning, mutilating, and choking her before she decided to make porn for them. So, you might tell the disabled girl agreed to take part. You may argue that the women reacted to an ad of their own will. But do you believe those victims knowingly gave their consent? We all know that it's not genuine consent, it's coercion. The issue of consent in porn can be tricky, and the growing phenomenon of amateur porn makes it even trickier. If one of the couples is unaware that a camera is recording them, the porn is not consensual, even if the sex is. Is that correct? What if someone agreed to be filmed but not to have the footage shown to others? What if someone tricked their partner into agreeing to be filmed in the first place, threatened them if they didn't cooperate? What if a person wanted to have sex but halfway through, their partner did something unexpected that the person who gave consent didn't expect. Is he or she really in agreement? The argument is that you have no way of knowing what kind of consent the actors have granted when you watch porn. You can't say that either because someone is in a pornographic video that they know precisely what was going to happen or that they had a clear opportunity or power to avoid it. Pornography portrays women as toys, causing men to see the women and girls in their lives in a similar light. As a result, women equate themselves to an industry that produces false and harmful representations of what they and sex can be, while portraying them as the norm. A former porn actress said, after being whipped and caned for 35 minutes, I've never got a beating like that in my life. I have cuts on the backs of my thighs that are permanent. I had agreed to anything, but I had no idea how brutal what was going to happen to me until I was in it. Did you notice what she just said? I had given my permission to everything. That's the trouble with approaching consent as a all or nothing proposition. She agreed to do A, she refused to participate in A, B and C square. I'm not implying that all porn isn't consented to. I'm just pointing out that some of it is and some of it isn't. And there's no way to tell which is which when you're watching it. So, if you learned that some, but not all, of a company's goods were made with child labor, would you buy from them? Will you help a business that mistreated any of its workers but not all of them? How would it be legal to conclude that porn is acceptable when participants give their consent? Because we know that some, probably much more than you think, do not.